Hello everyone, welcome to Past Preserver, and yes, you read that title right. We're going to find out if this $200 tractor wants to fire up. You're looking at a 1944 2N Ford. I keep wanting to call it an 8N, but it is not. This here was pre-8N, but the 2N is newer than the 9N. Boy, this is a weird thing to get into. We'll go into a couple of differences. Now, some of you are going to look at this that know the Fords and say, well, that should be obviously a 9N and not a 2N because of this I-beam here. But apparently somewhere in the mid 44 and the 45 from what I'm reading is when they swapped over to the rounded, like what's on the 8N. I'll see if I can put a picture up here. And we know it's not a 39 because the 39 was totally different. It had like a polished aluminum hood. The grill looked more like a Ferguson grill. Actually, we have a new grill for this, where this is vertical. It was more of a horizontal style grill. While we're on the subject of serial numbers and trying to figure them out, we're going to come over here, and right here is your serial number. And some of you, it should say 9N, and that looks like an I. I'm sure that looks like an I to everyone, but that I is a 1. For some reason, they just used I for 1. And this is 43790 is what it kind of looks like to me. And that should put this right in that 44 range. Another super easy way to tell if you have an 8N or 2N or a 9N is the 8N, you won't have your clutch right here. You'll have the clutch up front. You'll have a full pad, although a lot of people put these on the 8Ns or 9Ns and 2Ns. This whole pad here, normally you just have this little foot peg on either side. And your clutch would have more of a flat top and be up here, and you'd have a brake on this side and a brake on that side. Whereas this is a little hard to use. You have your clutch and brake both on one side, and as you can see, your brake only pushes down so far and your clutch goes a lot further to engage. So you can't really use both. Also on the 2N and 9Ns, you have a 3-speed transmission where you would have a 4-speed transmission on an 8N. And then coming to the dash on some 8N Fords, you would have a big like speedometer, tachometer down here. Also 8Ns are going to have bigger brakes, but basically you should be able to tell an 8N fairly easy. It's the 9N and 2N that's a little more confusing. Basically, what you want to do is look at your serial number, and that should tell you most of what you need to know. Unless your engine's been swapped out, then you're going to have to go off these and guess, because you might not even get the right answer there. Now, a wartime tractor, they didn't even have the starters here. It was crank only. As you can see, there's a spot where you can put your crank in, and they supposedly had a choke rod come up to the front through the grill so you could pull and choke, but there was no electric start. And then I guess sometime in like 42-ish, Henry Ford was able to convince the government that, hey, these things are kind of essential, we need to sell more, you know, we need to put lax the restrictions on it. So that's what ended up happening, because I mean, farming, you can't really keep a war going if people aren't eating. You got to have food supply. So yeah, kind of essential. I know the cars they stopped. We had a 42 Ford car 2-door for a little while years ago, and yeah, that was a really oddball car because they cut them off in 42, and in 46 they start them up again, and you look at the styling, they changed the grill out and not much else. Because they had all the tools and dies and everything. They just stopped production and restarted it. Another nice thing about this specific tractor is someone put a high-low range in it. So you have a neutral. I don't know which side would be high and which side would be low. We'll figure that out when we go to drive it. While we're here, let's go ahead and check our oil real quick. And yep, we've got oil. She's gassy, but she's all right. It's will lubricate the engine. So So before we get this thing running, we're gonna have to see, well, first, if it even turns over. I don't know that yet either. It was such a good deal, I just couldn't say no, you know? We're gonna have to clean these ports out a little bit. Looks like some critter was trying to build something up in there. I don't think it got too far, thankfully. There are gaskets here. We're just gonna use those. I don't have any copper coat. It'd be ideal to spray them with something, but yeah, you see them loose. Okay, all right. We might be able to throw the other manifold I have on here because the original one here is pretty sad. There's supposed to be a little spot for a donut to go on. This clamp guy, as you can see, it's gone here, and this one is in very good shape. So we're going to use this manifold on it, which is surprisingly a lot heavier than this one. But yeah, we're going to throw that manifold on it. I've got a carburetor. Actually, we have a whole box of goodies I haven't really gone into. This here's for the carburetor going to the air breather. We have the generator, 6 volt of course. We've got the carburetor. It's a Marvel. It looks like it's complete. We'll tear that apart, see about cleaning her up. We got a new radiator pad. Maybe that goes under the radiator. I've never seen one of those. Oh, I wonder if that goes between the top of the radiator and the hood. Maybe it's like a spacer for that. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that one up. What else do we have? Muffler clamp. Oh, good. We got a new muffler clamp. We can put the muffler on it. Here's another one of those radiator pads. Fuel valve shut off. Yeah, that tank is in pretty rough shape. I haven't even looked in it yet, but sounds like a maraca when you shake it. That's probably to hold the tank in place, and there's probably hood bolts there. Really, there's not a whole lot off this tractor. I know I'm jumping around here quite a bit, but coming to the back, let me see about straightening that fender up. Really? Oh yeah, there's something else with the fenders. I don't remember what it was. I'll see if I can insert that here, but something to do with these grooves were different between the ears too. And this does have the adapter to go from the small connector. GoPro cut out, just filming right along and she stops. I don't understand. So we do have the adapter to go from the small shaft that's on there to a larger one that's the normal size that everything uses. And I believe that this is, yeah, it feels like it's got some give to it. So there are like little clutches in here so it turns one way and it catches, and when you let off it won't hook on and keep the tractor moving forward. Because if you got like a big bush hog back here and you go to push in on the clutch, it's still going to turn this and want to move the wheels forward, and you're not going to stop. Coming to the top, we got our throttle, we got our engine oil pressure, we got our choke rod, got an amp gauge, and we got our key. But hey, if it's hooked up and works, we'll take it. First thing I want to do, oh yeah, this here's where you would access your battery and fuel tank. Yeah, someone's repainted this at one point. But your fuel tank should be right here. Your battery should be down in here. We do have the hold down, that's good. And we're going to see about taking this hood off. There should be a couple bolts here, there, and down low. That's another weird thing about these hoods, which is kind of, I'm wondering if this is the right hood for this. Because from what I'm seeing online, the two ends are supposed to have a big hole here. You can access the bolt back here on that holds this front on, but this doesn't have that. I'm just a little confused by that. I don't like this thing. I mean, it's really well built. It's super heavy, and it's removable pretty easy. We just got 4 pins holding it on, but it's ugly. I don't know why, but I just feel it's ugly. I think we're going to change that out. Even if we leave this and just redesign in here, I don't like it. All right, so we're going to see about getting this hood off. The bolts all seem to be out of it. You know, my dad offered to help me get this hood off earlier. that. Not taking that off or out. Nah, she came off fairly easy. I just gotta go somewhere with this hood. Oh, perfect. Oh, and you got a new radiator cap. Nice. You know, if you don't want to run, we could always find a flathead V8 and do one of those conversion kits to it. Ooh. Man, I'm really getting Model A vibes just looking at this motor. It feels like it's pretty darn close. Even has a spot where you can put a fuel pump, I guess. Huh. I wonder if that was ever used or if it was just something they threw in there as a possibility, because these are gravity fed. Maybe they use this motor in other applications. I don't know. Well, I think before we go trying to turn it, maybe we ought to pop these plug wires off. Someone put new plugs in this. And wires. I've got the box for a wire set. Yeah, those are definitely newer wires. We'll pop these plugs out and see about squirting some lube down there. And hopefully that'll loosen everything up. You know what? This thing is really just bugging me. I'm not loving it. It's not staying on here. Alright, we got all those out now. I wonder how heavy this thing is. Well, about to find out. Oh, it's not too bad. Definitely got a little weight to it though. Yeah, that looks much better. I'll throw those pins back in place so we don't lose them. You guys got a little better view. We're going to go ahead and blow these out. We're going to spray a little Seafoam Deep Creep down here. Help them out. It's also what we're going to put down the cylinders. Alright, they're a little tight, not too bad. It's possible this thing's never been fired up on these plugs. We will see. No, they're not brand new plugs. Definitely have a little oil on them. It's at least been cranked on. Began to think maybe, oh, I forgot to mention, the previous owner said something about there might be a knock down low. So judging by these spark plugs, it's definitely been run with them. So maybe what happened was the guy fired it up, found out there was a noise down low and started to disassemble it. And it was a little more than just a bad manifold was the reason it was taken apart. Don't know. We're going to find out here pretty quick though, I think. I wish I had a bore scope. I don't. We're going to go ahead and spray some Seafoam down there. And I think we'll throw it in gear. Well, we'll let that sit for a minute. Well, I'm going to throw it in gear and rock it back and forth. You guys tell me, well, we'll see if it'll turn the fan. Maybe it'll just turn the fan. Third gear. Oh, right. Put it in there. Uh-oh. That don't feel good. Oh, yes. He's turning. Okay, all right, she's turning. That's good. Throw both in neutral. Cool. So we got a loose motor, and she looks fairly good overall. Well, honestly, I can't see a reason not to take these gaskets off and clean this up and see about putting the manifold back on. You know, we're missing a washer. One fell off of here earlier. Oh, yep, that's it. Okay. I was wondering where it came from. I guess it was sitting on the outside. Let's see if we can feel these. The gasket does not want to come off. Maybe we'll just, nope, we're destroying it. Maybe we'll just clean it with it on there. Okay, all right. We're not going to push our luck and try and take that gasket off. We're just going to see about putting the manifold back on. If I'm remembering correctly, we should just be able to pop this off. So tight. There it goes. There it goes. It's got a spring in there. You kind of got to pull up on it, but it's just very, very rusty. Okay. Now that's out of the way. And by cleaning that up, I mean we're going to blow it out the best we can. I don't know what else to do there. Seems okay. I can't really get these gaskets off, clean them any better. I mean, if it leaks, it leaks. We're just trying to see what we got motor-wise. Okay, looking at that, I really need to blow this intake out. Alright, hopefully this is the right one. Otherwise, this will be a very short video. Ha ha ha! Perfect. Well, we'll figure out what size bolt this is and screw those down. So from what I'm reading online, they say with brass nuts it's supposed to be like 27 foot-pounds. So I don't think these are brass nuts, but we'll go with that. This is an old swing bar style. Basically, you just push it over until it reaches, until this, you push it over until this bar hits. So what this is, how this torque wrench works is as you push on it, this little bar is going to move over and you got all these numbers here, and once you hit, we want 26, 27, so it'd be about right there. So once it hits there, you know you've got it. The nice thing about this over a click style one is if you're breaking something loose and you want to know what it was torqued at, if you go backwards with it, you can see at what point it breaks loose. So if you're working on something you don't have any idea if it was torqued right, or if you have no idea what it was supposed to be set to and want to go back to where it was, you can go back to it. Gives you a good guesstimate as to where it should be. Whereas with a clicky one where you've got screw tight down low, it won't do that. You just set it to what you want it to be and it'll click when you get to that point. Okay, those all look good. Good and tight. Go ahead and hook our throttle back up. Try to at least. This is a very tight spring in here. They did not want it coming off there. There she goes. Do we want to play with the carb, or do we want to see about spark? I want to find out if that starter's any good before we go too much further. Yeah, let's pop this cap and see what we got for points. So down here in the front, which is not ideal at all, normally the later ones had a side shaft distributor, and this one they decided, nope, we'll put it right here. Let's see what's under here. I've never had one of these apart before, so we're learning together. All right, that does not want to come off. All right, awesome. Well, let's pop this top off of this side and see what we get. Popped. Oh boy, that's yeah. That's very tight up in there. I don't know if I can even get you guys up in there to look at it. Let's see here. That looks promising. It's possible this has been redone. This guy was putting some new parts onto it already, so it's possible it's a newer set of points. What can you see? I can't zoom in. I'll just pull this rotor off and get you guys down in there. What do you see? Anything good? I think I'm gonna have to look at the footage on here to really tell. Well, that was kind of ridiculous. You guys couldn't even focus on it. Okay, I'm just gonna have to get my head up in there and really have a good look at this. Hold on. So it looks like the points aren't even where I was looking at. They're down here. Yeah. Dang, what a terrible design. Boy, whoever thought that was a good idea. You needed to rethink that, or you had some really small hands. What in the heck? Gee whiz. Okay, that cap's back on there. You really got to push on that thing to get it to pop in place. Let's, I got a 6-volt battery off that deer. We'll throw it in here and see what happens. Well, there's no ground cable. That's that's an issue. I think we'll fix it with a set of jumper cables to the starter. Let's go ahead and throw our... Ooh, is this thing negative ground or positive? I honestly don't know. This is positive. I'm guessing it's negative ground. Or positive ground, I mean. Oh yeah, super loose. Well, maybe. I'm gonna look that up real quick. So looking it up, it's supposed to have a positive ground. Let's see. Do you get any sparkles? Nothing. Okay. I turn the, oh, the key is on. Will we crank? Nothing. I guess the better question is this ground acceptable? Oh, I felt something trying to pulse through me. Hey. Okay, all right. That battery's very low. We're going to put it on the charger. But hey, she cranks. All right. Well, she's right at 6 volts. We want to make sure we're in our small charge so we don't zap this thing with way too much voltage. And yeah, we're going to let that sit and charge. I think I'm going to charge the GoPro too while we're at it. And hopefully when we come back, we'll find out if we have spark. Probably not. I'm probably gonna have to dig into that. Dang it. Boy, all right. Whoever designed this, I hope they lost their job over it. That was awful. You can barely get your hand up there, and what's worse is the points are on this side that you can't get at. If they were on this side, it wouldn't be so bad, but they're like down in this corner where you about can't get to it. I had to take a really long handled pick and go up in there and hold it open while I took a piece of emery cloth and tried to get my hand squeezed in there to shimmy it around. So anyway, did all that fiddling pay off? Well, we're about to find out. Hold on. Oh, we're about to find out if I can find the starter. Haha, we got it. Oh, that light's about dead now. We got spark. Well, I guess we're gonna throw those plugs back in and see about working on the carb. Let's go ahead and get these in real quick. Yeah, I had to bring the voltmeter out and make sure we're actually getting voltage down there, because she wasn't sparking at first when I was opening and closing the gap. But she was getting voltage. Well, let's see if we got any compression real quick. She don't sound bad. Well, in our carburetor, I don't think that's supposed to be bent over that far. I feel like that should be a little straighter. Also, it's been into before. We have 1 Phillips and 3 flats. So we're gonna sit down here and tear it apart and see what we got. Now, I don't remember if you have to take, I don't think so. I think it just comes off with the top on this one. Okay, fairly straightforward. Some of these carburetors, you have a big jet down low that you have to take out before you can get into it. I'm not going to remove that. I'm in debate, or if we do, we're definitely going to have to take note of where it was set at. Oh, will this fit? Oh, that was surprisingly loose, like alarmingly loose. Uh-oh. Let's hope we have some internals, because I don't know if I have a rebuild kit for this. My grandpa had one of these, and I think his might have been a 9-in, because I know it had the front distributor, because I've got a rebuild, extra cap around here for that. So it had to have been an early model. I don't think it was an 8. And I know there's a bit of a carb kit around here, but I don't know how much of one. If not, the nice thing about these tractors is you can go straight into, I'm not paying attention, you can go straight into like Rural King, and they have carb kits and all sorts of like basic parts for this, just on the shelf. Like fuel bowl, and you get one shut off there, stuff like that, fairly easy. And what you can't get at the store, you can basically get online. So parts are available. That's what I like about that Model A too. It's something that you can easily get. New old stock, or well, new old stock, more aftermarket. Hey, we've got things. That looks promising. I guess it looks like it was saved somewhat. Okay. Shoot, we might have lucked out just trying it out, but you never know. Okay, so we've got no return spring on the choke anymore. It had one, obviously, but we're gonna have to remember that we're gonna have to manually push that in to shut it off. How's our needle? Would it have? Well, no, it would have got stuck. Yeah, we're gonna have to tear that out. See if it keeps getting stuck. So yeah, we'll take that apart. Okay. I mean, I would think the float would be dry. If something liquid's in there, I'd be surprised. Okay, not lose our needle? Okay, good. Sometimes those things drop and they're gone forever. Now I gotta think, do I have brake clean with a straw that we can shoot through this, or do I have to go fire up my air compressor again? Thinking I'm gonna have to go fire up my air compressor. How am I have brake clean? That's not good. Okay. I gotta get this valve open too. It's very, oh, there it goes. Oh man, that was very tight. I don't know what we have going on in here. I haven't had one of these apart in, well, I had an 8-in one apart. Ooh, I lucked out. Ooh, I need to go buy a lotto ticket. Nope, all my luck got used up there. Oh, I mean, we lost a little bit of material, but it's not too bad. That looks very clean. That looks new, shiny. Maybe this thing's been rebuilt. Yeah, there's a, we're not going to mess with that. Big jet there with a kind of a retainer on it so you can manually adjust it. It's got a little dot there too, so you know where you moved it to. That's good. Well, I don't know if I can get that jet out. Oh, smaller screwdriver, it might. Nope, too big. Well, shoot. Let me see if I can get some spray. Well, I had to go turn the compressor back on. We're just going to blow it out there. Kind of nice having the compressor off in the other shed. I don't have to listen to it. Not satisfying to spray, that's for sure. At least I was doing something. Now, this is about the time in the video where you'd expect a YouTuber to put it in an ultrasonic cleaner. I don't have to have one of those. I'm not that fancy. Not yet, at least. Alright. Going through it real good. Honestly, I think this thing was gone through and then just sat on the shelf, or thrown in a coffee can, to be honest. So, let's, go ahead and put it back together, I guess. We'll lube this, Oh, where'd that pin go? There it is. Losing parts. We gotta make sure to put this, make sure to put this back on. Okay. Try to clean that gunk off there. And we'll wipe this down a bit. Might spray a dab of that on there just to make it make it slippery. So I'm gonna set that in there. Clean corrosion off. All right, let's see if that helped us any. I mean, yeah, it's safe to say it's coming back down. You probably can't see that real well, but she's moving. So, okay. Should not have a sticky float, at least not a super sticky one. And it's still probably going to stick. Oh, gotta watch that pin, make sure it's not too far out. Okay, so when you put this back together, there's a wide bit and a narrower bit, and you got to make sure that it settles in place. Otherwise, it won't go together again. And then when you're putting this in, you got to make sure that this lines up in the little hole down in here. Hopefully you can see that. The little hole down in here as you slide the two together. So it's a bit of a struggle, but you can get it. Now you got to put the float back in. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I got nothing but bad news for you. Yeah, the threads are gone on this side. So we got threads over here, no threads there. The way this manifold is designed, I can't put a long enough bolt to go through and have a nut underneath this. I can't bring a bolt that's long enough underneath this to put a nut on top. So this carb's kind of junk. Unless I can tap this out and find a fatter bolt, but then I'd have to drill this out to make that work. And we hit a hard stop here with this. Dang it! Really wanted to have this running today. Same day I brought it home, didn't quite, almost made it there. Well, maybe I've been watching too much Vice Grip Garage, but we're just gonna do that, and she's got a tight seal now. All right, so doing a little more investigating. Number 2 was all gummed up with junk on the spark plug, and number one, let's see if we can get you to look right there. We have no movement on that valve, so there's no compression going on. I'm gonna take a long screwdriver and a hammer and see if I can't get on that valve. Need a longer screwdriver, can't get around the governor. I said we're gonna take a long screwdriver and put it on top of that valve and see if we can't get it to, there it goes, that went right down. Now we're gonna work that up and down some while she cranks around. Nice that governor wasn't there in my way. Nope, she is stuck in the road. Okay. What is holding? What is the hold that. Down. Okay, see that's it. Another one. Start see that again? Yeah, start again. It's in there. Yeah, where's we go? Roll straight down. Try to get that. See around there. No. Okay. What's he gonna think? What's he gonna think? Good, but that one's got to be real fresh. Yeah. Throw them right on here. I don't know. Wait. You see, but it's not yet. I don't know. It's kinda. All right. I'm gonna let the starter cool down a bit because that was that's way more than I wanted to crank on it, but I don't know how else I would have got that loose. Gotta want to wipe these plugs off before we put them back in. Well, it's been a little bit. Surprisingly, that starter has not gotten hot. I put my hand on it right after we got done with that long session there. Well, let's see if we get anything. I mean, at least it sounds consistent. Oh, you know what? Helps you turn the darn key on. Alright, we're gonna flip the battery charge. Well, I stole the tank off this EX motor that was no good. This back bolt did not want to come out. So, yeah, we got a little aggressive with it. Anyway, now I got a good little drop tank. I even had a little slot here to put a zip tie through. They were thinking of me. Sorry everyone, we're gonna have to call the video here. My iPad won't let me add any more onto the end of this. It keeps freezing up every time I try to import more videos. So leave a like, hit subscribe for more. I'm going to get this part 2 out as quick as I can. I will see you in the next one and have a great day.